What is up, guys? Welcome to the Verse Crypto channel, the most savage and degenerate crypto channel out there. My name's Khaos Kris, and I'll be your host today. Before we hop this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so that I keep you guys up to date with the latest, greatest news and information within this space. With that being said, let's hop into this awesome live stream. Khaos Kris here, back at it. You know me, the Zen Classic Commander, and we got so much to talk about. This pDAI conspiracy theory on Pulsechain. This is something that's been going on all across the cryptocurrency market. Is it a con? Is it legit? What is going on? And I'm going to tell you guys, I got all the information you need. I did the research. I talked to the researchers behind this, and I'll tell you one thing. This is either one of the greatest moves Richard Heart has ever single-handedly done in the history of cryptocurrency. This will solidify him as the best person in cryptocurrency, or this is the biggest con artist scheme whatsoever. So there's so much to talk about this. In addition, TYRH, it's absolutely exploding. They just launched a version 3, I believe, and the tokens on this version 3 are going absolutely ballistic. TYRH is at an all-time high. This is a project I've talked about in multiple live streams. I put out a tweet after the massive dip after the SEC lawsuit, and it is doing absolute numbers. So today we're going to focus on these two main categories. And as you guys know, I got my sunglasses on. I figured I'd be like one of my boys, Tree City West, coming in here with the sunglasses. Sorry, Tree City West Trading Club. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why YouTubers like to wear these things. I don't know. I just thought it'd be cool. But to be honest, it's actually kind of annoying me. Someone get rid of them. But ultimately, there's so much news going on, and let's just jump into it and just see what's crack-a-lacking. So doing like a screen share, where are we sitting at with Bitcoin? So Bitcoin's just trading sideways. We're sitting at about 29,358. It's been trading sideways for a minute. I don't suspect any massive price movements unless we have something going on with the Fed turning on the printing machine, or we have some sort of black swan event coming down the road. So ultimately, it's going to trade sideways. So we might have a little bit of a leg up. There is a little bit of a breakout here, and there's a good chance that it might shoot up a little bit. But going closer into the fall, it might go down. Now, moving on. Let's take a look at crypto bubbles. So Pulsechain sitting up about 3%. Hex actually had a nice little boom and then went back, so not really too bad. Fractshare, very popular stablecoin protocol. Kind of ironic because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Sitting at about a $495 million market cap. HBAR, absolutely doing numbers. Microsoft, Berkshire Hathaway, they have their hand in HBAR. This is definitely a big corporation type of coin. So definitely really great to see all this stuff. And then Casper, this is actually one that I'm picking to be a big one in the next market. Now, moving to the top 200, let's see what's moving up. Oh, Omi's the homie. What is this? Dang. I actually have a small bag of Omi, and I had no idea it was still alive. So it absolutely went nuclear this past day. I don't know why, but they do a lot of NFTs and stuff on the blockchain. They had a massive price crash, but I mean, this could be a really, really great play. So ultimately, really, really good stuff. Now, before we get into the Pulsechain conspiracy theory and I do my little intro, there's one thing I want to talk about just really, really quickly, because I know you guys are interested about that stuff, but I need to talk about Layer Zero just for a quick 30 seconds. Layer Zero is trending on Twitter. It's blowing up. They basically just opened up a bridge between Avalanche and the rest of the blockchains. They're doing work with Portacoin. They're doing work with Base. They're doing work with every major blockchain. This token is going to be an absolute sleeper. It's going to hit the cryptocurrency market. It's going to slap everybody across the face, and no one sees it coming yet. In my opinion, this is the biggest VC-backed fund type of blockchain that a lot of the corporations are getting behind, and a lot of the biggest names in the entire planet want to see succeed. So I'm sounding out a warning because I'm going to do a live stream on this going on to the future, because Layer 0, L1X, and then X1, which is one of my favorite blockchains that is going to be launching, all three of these are going to be competing with each other in a market. And this is extremely important if you're a Xenian, if you're on Pulsechain, if you're just in cryptocurrency in general. Blockchain communication interoperability. That is going to be bigger than Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchain. And that's my biggest call of this bear market. So we'll get into that a little bit more later on. There's a lot of stuff behind Layer Zero Labs that not a lot of people know about. I think it'll be very, very interesting. So let's come over here to Primate screen. Let's see if we got any questions or anything. Yes, Cap. Woohoo! pDAI to $1. Do or die. Spreading awareness. All right. It's great to see you guys. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Great stuff. All right. Cool. So, yeah, let's just get into stuff. I don't want to be talking too much. Now, what is going on with pDAI? So, basically, when pDAI came across my radar back in about a month or 2 months ago, I saw it started doing really, really well. And then B-Roots comes out and says, pDAI is my #1 pick. And honestly, I just sat there and laughed at it. I was like, dude, why don't you pick something like Wrapped Bitcoin, Wrapped Ethereum, or maybe like even like Uniswap token? It like something that makes sense, but it didn't make any sense. Next thing you know, I see the price of DAI start ticking up and USDC start ticking up and USDT start ticking up. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, what is going on? And so I'm just sitting there, I have no idea. Next thing you know, a couple weeks later, Hodlnomics puts out this insane Twitter thread about pDAI. This dude kills it. Shout out to Hodlnomics. And then he had 9 Iron Capital. I follow him on Twitter. Really great guy as well. And this other guy named New2. And I think there's like another researcher. But basically, him and a whole group of people got together and they came across something so big, so crazy, it absolutely blows my mind. And basically what's happening is we're seeing the price of pDAI climbing over time and getting to a point where it actually might reach peg. And there's a lot of stuff going on with a hidden token called Atropa and also a third-party company sitting in a background with a privacy bridge. And so this is like the ultimate murder mystery on the Pulsechain blockchain. And I can't tell you guys, man, I've never been so excited being crypto. Honestly, if this plays out, this could be the biggest play of the freaking century, baby. And like, to be honest with you, when it comes to like anything cryptocurrency, everyone's looking for that home run in the final game of the World Series. Everybody just needs one home run and they're good to go. They can set something up from, you know, crypto trading. What we're seeing right here is more than a home run. It's a grand slam. This could possibly be a grand slam. So ultimately, I want to get into the theory. We're going to talk about the meat and the cheese. I'm not going to get so far deep into the nerd stuff because I know most of you guys will tune out or whatever. But let's just go over here to what Hodlnomics was talking about before we get into the full detailed analysis. So starting off, basically, just like I was, he was following pDAI, and they're seeing that there's some weird transaction payments going on. And then out of this sprouted the pDAI pegging theory. And so basically what the pegging theory is, essentially there's a wallet that so back right when Pulsechain launched, the MakerDAO contract was opened up and some developer was going through and looking at it, seeing if it can be used. I'm not sure if they try to test it on testnet. And so there's evidence that that contract was opened up. Then the project went live, and then this other token called Atropa launched as well. And so how the MakerDAO contract works basically, and this is probably the biggest part before we get into the analysis. So essentially, when you mint DAI, you have the so when you mint DAI, you have to take Ethereum or some sort of cryptocurrency and basically put it up into a bank account, or in this case, it's a decentralized bank account, but it's like a vault. And so when you put that up into a vault, you basically get loaned out the DAI token, and that DAI token is based on your crypto debt. It's very similar to what you see with like the SEC, the Federal Reserve and whatnot. And so essentially that's basically how the MakerDAO contract works. Now over time, MakerDAO started adding the Maker token, which is a governance token, and they also added liquidity pools where you can pay up your DAI tokens to add liquidity so that DAI doesn't depeg. And MakerDAO was proven to be one of the most successful projects when it comes to anything stablecoin. So successful to the point where like essentially USDC and USDT is actually tied into the peg behind DAI, and that's part of the reason why we see USD and USDT rising as well. And so the idea is MakerDAO is probably the most decentralized stablecoin we have to date, and honestly it has yet to hit a massive like peg fall. And I mean, of course you're going to see it go down by 5%, everyone's going to freak out. But when I say major like peg fall, I'm talking like 50%. I'm talking like something like Terra Luna collapse. That's like a major peg fall. But regardless, so out of this MakerDAO contract, Richard Heart always talked about how much he loved MakerDAO. He said it was a phenomenal stablecoin, and during the sacrifice, he recommended that as many people send DAO to the sacrifice wallet as humanly possible. And so basically, he was this huge proponent of it, and then that's what started this theory. Is Richard Heart behind the DAI pegging theory? And so we're going to go through some evidence now that I cover MakerDAO, and then just list off the evidence, and then you guys decide and let me know what you think. But let me just go through the rest of HODLonomics so I can cover everything and not miss everything. So basically, some important information before we go this. RH Connected Wallet, he owns 50% of eDAI in existence. RH has public support over DAI. And then the big thing, Pulsechain needs a stablecoin to eliminate bridge risk exposure. So this is a big thing that HODLonomics did a really great job highlighting on. We had a bridge hack with Solana. We had a bridge hack with, I think it was like Thorchain. And then Multi-Chain had the biggest exploit in cryptocurrency history, where the Chinese authorities came in, took the admin keys, and took all the Bitcoin and assets out of the bridge. So when you connect the Pulsechain to the Ethereum bridge, those tokens you bridge over, Ethereum, USDC, even your hex pegged, even your eHex, a synthetic token is created. It's not the actual token on the Ethereum blockchain. It's a copycat token on the Pulsechain. And so I'm not saying this is going to happen. I think the Pulsechain bridge is going to be all right, but there is always going to be a possibility of a bridge hack. That's where 99% of the hacks occur, at the bridge level. And so the biggest thing I'm trying to get across is, if a bridge hack were to hit the Pulsechain, then this whole thing's over. The sink is the ship is going down under. It's over. It's done for. Basically, the Pulsechain could not recover from a hit this early in the game. And so if we have a DAI stablecoin or some sort of stablecoin that has already been on the blockchain that is pegged to $1, it can save us from this catastrophic event if it were to happen. So in my opinion, it's kind of like a 1/10 of a percent scenario, but it's like a what's it called, like a last resort, just kind of like a backup. So and then on top of that, Richard Heart has said many times he has something special being planned for PRC20 tokens. So basically there's that. Now kind of jumping down here, the MakerDAO PRC contracts worked on Pulsechain before the network was open. And so this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. So when the chain opened to the public on May 13th, on May 11th, an OA connected wallet minted pDAI. This has the same owner wallet as PLS, PLSX, incentive token, and then Master Chef, which is like it's connected to like the PulseX, and then as well as a eternal storage proxy for the whole chain. I'm not going to really go over that. That's going to take a minute to really understand. So he comes over here and he lists all the contracts where you can see it, and you can see when they've been active. So basically the whole point of what he's trying to say here is someone was looking at the contract before it went public on May 13th. And so how I see it is basically they did a double check on the contract on May 11th, and then they're like, all right, the contract's good. We just double checked on May 11th. We're good to go. Let's go full systems operation on May 13th. That's what I think happened, because I think since it was one of the last things checked before the launch, this is probably one of the biggest pieces to this entire murder mystery plot. Now moving down, going in, Pulsechain needs a stablecoin, and I pretty much already went over this. Everybody knows you need a stablecoin. An eDAI, EUSDT, EUSDC, this isn't going to be stable. I mean, stable for the entire protocol. All those coins are locked up into the bridge, and honestly, the Pulsechain bridge is probably going to be the #1 target of hackers, because it's just like, it's like a big pirate chest just waiting to get plundered. Like Blackbeard's basically looking at that thing, and they're going to try to get in and try to steal all the riches. but I don't think that's going to happen. I want to make that clear. I'm just being a doofus. So now, pDAI and MakerDAO. Now this is the big part I really want to get into. So basically, we had the entire token address and the entire software copied from the Ethereum blockchain over to the Pulsechain. Now, when it comes to how MakerDAO works and how it stabilizes the peg, there's mechanics in place so that MakerDAO can follow the price of $1, and we need an oracle for that, but we'll get into that in a minute. But ultimately, the DAO token is designed to follow $1, and so the smart contract and the software is going to start working right when the Pulsechain launch. And since it's like a copy and whatever, it's the same exact software. I'm gonna repeat that. The MakerDAO contract is the same exact smart contract and software launching on the Pulsechain. That is the key piece to really understanding this. And so essentially what's happening is now that the smart contract is fully operational, it is now trying to push the coin back up to peg because that is what it's designed to be used for. So cool. Now let's get into this. Pathway to parity and stabilization. Now this is a really big component. And so this has a lot to do with everyone on this video. If you're viewing this video, in order for pDAI to be successful, number one, it's going to start with the community. It's going to start with me. It's going to start with you guys. Because if there's not an interest behind this token, this whole thing goes away. So basically, the community, number one, they have to rally behind pDAI. And then number two, OA opens up the incentive pool, boosting the LP, fortifying the token, which will also boost the price. So what Hodlnomics is saying here is, if they do an LP pairing between like Pulse and DAI or PulseX and DAI, basically that's incentivizing people to take their Pulsechain PulseX liquidity and add value to DAI. This is something that MakerDAO does through their vaults on Ethereum. It's the same exact process, except we need to do it for the DAI token on Pulsechain so that it stabilizes. Now the next thing, Maker announces support for Pulsechain, which would cause an absolute flurry to push the price up to $1. Now, this is a little bit of a stretch, and you might be asking yourself, I don't think MakerDAO is going to support Richard Heart. Well, let's go back up to this detail, which I know most of you guys probably skipped over. Richard Heart owns 15% of the eDAI in existence due to the sacrifice funds. So basically, I'm not saying he's threatening anybody. I'm not saying like anything bad's going to happen, but he literally has 15% of these tokens. If he sold the tokens right now, the peg will destabilize and things will go really crazy in the MakerDAO world, and everybody will be going all over the place. So the key part of this is, you know, the MakerDAO announces support, and we're going to get a little bit into some information about that because I got some new information behind that might be pointing to the support by MakerDAO. But ultimately, the point is, Richard Heart has a power move over MakerDAO when he owns 50% of the coins. And then next one, if there was only some benevolent force with $250 million that could back the network. So the biggest thing and the biggest piece of this, and this is, and besides number 5, we need to add collateral for the DAI token. And that means that the DAI token can be swapped in and out for Pulse, PulseX, Incentive, whatever token you want on the Pulsechain. This is the biggest piece of information we need. And so basically the sacrifice wallet that Richard Heart has from PulseX and Pulsechain, it still has all the coins on there. The Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex was all developed without using funds from that sacrifice wallet. And so the funds from that wallet could possibly be used to add collateral behind the DAI token so that it would actually complete the feedback loop and give DAI backing once it hits $1. And once this happens, it's game over. Pulsechain has a stable coin. So basically, those are the 5 scenarios that has to happen for this to come to fruition. And we're gonna go into a little bit more about some of these points that have already been hit, and we're going to get into a price analysis, so stick with me. But essentially, coming down here, so what's going on with the price stabilization behind the DAI token, and why is the price going up? So these are just some main points of how this can come to fruition. So there's this contract that was called Atropa, And so Atropa was launched by a mysterious wallet, and it was bridged over from an anonymous bridge that nobody had any idea what was going on. And so essentially what happened was this wallet is connected to Maximus DAO. It owned a bunch of hex, and it ended up selling like, I think, $300 million hex. And liquidity is being funded into this Atropa token. And what's happening with this major wallet, and if you come over to the Atropa scan, you'll see this PulseX LP pool. Atropa is getting paired up with, DAI, and with those two token pairs, it's being sent to a burn address, and basically it's removing DAI from the supply. And as a result, as all this DAI is being removed from supply, it's actually pushing up the price. And so Hodlnomics launched this, now hit this announcement right here, and then B-Roots picked it up, and then the thing went absolutely crazy. But ultimately, if you look at some of these small transactions, there's bots within this wallet where they're buying and selling, selling this token. And the main goal of what they're trying to do is they're using arbitrage from other liquidity pools, and they're trying to reduce the amount of DAI within the entire blockchain so that it's basically getting burnt right off the market. Because as of right now, we have about $28 billion worth of DAI, which means if we were to back up this entire blockchain, we would need $20 billion worth of crypto, which doesn't really make any sense. And so if you guys remember, the sacrifice wallet amount got up to about, I would say about $1 billion. So realistically, if this were to come to fruition, I would probably say that there might need to be at least anywhere between 1 to 2 billion DAI out in circulation. That's just a prediction. I'm just a useful idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's just what I think based off of what I'm seeing. So coming down here, some other things that are also going on. So with all the tokens being put up as collateral right now, the main tokens that you can put up as collateral in the liquidity pool is going to be Wrap BTC, ETH, Staked ETH, BAT, and GUSD, which are all other stable coins. And basically you can trade them in and out, and the code's using that. But there's evidence to suggest this is going to change pretty soon. And so coming down here, now the last and the final piece of this, of what's going on, not that we covered it, payments. This is the biggest and final component of this. So Richard Heart understands one thing. This story isn't successful unless somebody can have a debit card that connects to the Pulsechain, and you can basically buy and sell products using PulseX, and Hex tokens. And so basically what I'm trying to get across is Richard Heart has interest in creating some sort of payment processor for the Pulsechain, but he hasn't gotten the opportunity to implement it. And we've seen this with what Coinbase is doing, Gemini, all these other big corporations, but he's trying to make it decentralized so that there's not a corporation, there's not greedy middlemen. It's basically you, your debit card, your credit card, and a retailer where you can buy and transact and earn goods and services and yada, yada, yada. So that is like the final piece behind all of this. Now, just getting into this whole conspiracy theory. Now, basically, there's so many unknowns behind this Atropa wallet, and that's the big thing I want to highlight, because Atropa now is basically like the MakerDAO token for the Pulsechain. And there's a privacy bridge, and we found the company that's actually transferring funds over and essentially doing all this stuff to it to bring up the price of DAI. But ultimately, what's going on with Atropa is so mysterious because they're spending millions of dollars to basically burn DAI off the market. They create an LP pair and then just burn it off the market, and they continue to do this on and on and on. And so ultimately, there's one of two things. Number one, the theory is true that this is Richard Heart and he's doing this, that's number one. Or number two, this might be a scammer, and a very unintelligent scammer, because I don't know why you would want to just burn it off the market. And so realistically, based off of how I see it, ultimately, I think so far Atropa has not been malicious. It's actually been a huge positive force for good behind the DAI token, but that could change going on to the future. I want to make that like crystal clear. So really cool. So I got more. We're going to keep talking about this, but I want to see if I got any questions or if anybody's got any comments. Holy cow, we got a lot of people here. All right, so Andrew Rich, peg me harder, pDAI. I love that. Landscaper, new to 9 Iron, Huddlenomics are legends. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to my boy Adam over at Vibra Finance. Check him out. Abe, Pulsechain is about to blow up. It's so amazing. Yes. Passport Pal, interesting. Blue bum. That makes no sense. Look at the Hodl's newest tweet and the bug fix. Blue bug. What's Hodl's Twitter handle? So, all right. Well, Blue bum, just stick with me real quick. We're gonna continue to go on and talk about this, but there's more to this story. So, hey, shout out to all you guys. Thank you for viewing the channel. We're gonna keep it moving and just keep it going. So, basically, now moving on to this theory. So Hodlonomics came out with the whole crew, and they were talking about, yo, so there's this Atropa thing going on. We don't know where the money's coming from. And then next thing you know, the Pulsechain and the Hex Maxis decided to just come out in all full force and attack the pDAI community. Shout out to pDAI. I love pDAI. I want to be, I'm part of this community. I'm all for the cause, but I need to continue to tell the story before we go on in the future. But basically what happened was Sami, your friend Sami or whatever, and all these Hex Pulsechain community members came out and said, scam, scam, scam. There's an inflation bug behind the DAI token. Someone's minting DAI. This is a huge deploy. Do not buy the Pulse PRC20 DAI token, because essentially all it is it's just a scam token copied over from the Ethereum blockchain. And then Hodlonomics came in, he fought off the invader. Shout out to him. Hodlonomics is like the supreme commander of pDAI. And so basically there's this huge fuss going on. Everybody was calling it a scam. Everyone was acting like they were a genius. And here's the thing, before I get into the dip catcher's response to all this, these guys are not the smartest people you'll ever meet, because the one thing that they don't realize is that all the PRC20 token copies is the same coding, the same software, the same contracts from the Ethereum blockchain. So this isn't a scam coding. DAI works on Ethereum. It's going to work on Pulsechain. It is an exact replica copy. It's doing the same exact thing. So after this all happened, basically everyone started going into the pDAI contract, started investigating it. And basically how DAI works is USDC follows the price of DAI. And when DAI gets really, really above peg with USDC, you have the option to mint more DAI so that it can stabilize the price. And so the idea is by tying DAI, USDC, and USDT together, it creates a price stabilization method across all three of the stable coins. And that's how USDC and USDT was set up. And so because they minted a bunch of these tokens, they were able to sell it. And that's why Sami was like, there's a scammer selling tokens off the market. But in reality, they were actually using the software. And I'm going to prove it to you guys right now. So come over here to screen share. So there's a guy named Dip Catcher. He is a developer for the Maximus DAO. Shout out to Dip Catcher. This guy is like smarter than Albert Einstein. I'm pretty dumb, but this guy is super intelligent. He understands software. He comes in and goes through and looks at it. So he said, what happened with pDAI? People were raising alarm. Insiders were exploiting an inflation bug in the DAI on Pulsechain and minting DAI out of thin air. William tweeted at me showing exactly the contract where they're interacting, so I dug in. And so basically he goes in, he digs in. I'm not going to really go over all this stuff because I'll let you guys read. But ultimately he comes down here and he says that other than myself and 3 other addresses seem to figure out how to run this, they squeeze. Key takeaway right here. Here it is. Key takeaway. This is not a bug or an exploit or something that only insiders had access to. This was public function I was running. This was not an issue with an oracle. It was purely price arbitrage opportunity that leveraged the peg stability, which allows convertibility between USDC and DAI, which you can read about here at the MakerDAO Foundation. So basically the Pulsechain, the Hex Clown Army came for the pDAI community, got absolutely smashed. Shout out to Hodlonomics and our fearless leader, and basically blocked him out. And so basically all that FUD, all that stuff these maxis were telling you, it's a lie. They don't know how MakerDAO works. They don't know anything about cryptocurrency. All they know is how to talk about Hex over and over and over again and talk about Pulsechain and Richard Heart. So ultimately the point I'm trying to get across is the FUD came in and the FUD was blocked. Now moving on. this is where things get very, very interesting in this storyline. So we go through, we see what's going on with the Tropa. The price is exploding. USDC is exploding. USDT is exploding. And then DAI is exploding. Then a key piece of information came out that actually wraps this whole story all together, and it's getting very, very close to coming to a conclusion. Number one, Hodlnomics and Iron, I think it was like Iron Kern or whatever. I keep saying his name wrong, but you guys know what I'm talking about. They came out and they found out there was an anonymous payment through Tornado Cash sent from Pulsechain to MakerDAO to fix the Pulsechain contract so that it can start accepting Pulsechain based tokens like Pulsechain. So basically, someone on Pulsechain submitted a transaction to him through Tornado Cash. Now, I want to ask you one question. Who was another big proponent of Tornado Cash and the DAI token? I'll let you guys guess. Richard Heart. Richard Heart came out and defended Tornado Cash when it got attacked, when it got banned off of like pretty much in the United States and you can't even access the URL. But the thing is, the software's on the blockchain, so you can still use it. So there's a connection because there's an anonymous transaction going through. And these two tokens, these two protocols that Richard Heart spoke positively about are being used in this murder mystery, which is absolutely crazy. Now, the next thing, and this is really big, really, really big, and I need every single one of you guys to pay very close attention to me, because this can be a huge play once this story comes out to be mainstream. And you need to trust me. I told you about TYRH at 10x. I told you about pDAI. It went up 5x. Shout out to the pDAI community. You guys are awesome. I'm not taking all the credit. This is mostly Hodlnomics and his crew. But through my platform, I told you guys about this. And now this third one, I need you guys to listen. Okay? So coming over here. So basically, coming over here, if you so this tweet from RH was one of the main catalysts for us starting to dive into blockchains. If you do some research, there's a protocol BlackBlend.io. It's the first of a kind cross-chain privacy that has private payment solutions. Best part, their bridge already works on Pulsechain. So there was a bridge already working on Pulsechain before the Pulsechain bridge launched. Well, actually, it was after the Pulsechain bridge launched, but it was before the B-Roots bridge. It was before any other bridge, and they had it already set up, ready to go. And the name of this company was BlackBlend.io. Now, owners of the BBL token can stake to earn fees from bridging and card use, aka the first decentralized payments network. So their card is still in development. And here's the biggest thing, biggest takeaway. I'm gonna zoom in really quickly. The Atropa supply is 1,111,111,111. The BBL supply is 111,111,111. Come on, guys. Like, when does this stop becoming a coincidence? Like, seriously, when does this all stop becoming a coincidence in this theory? You have the same token amounts. You have the fact that Richard has talked about stablecoins. There's PRC20 tokens going to do well. There's a fact that we have a stablecoin coming out. When does the coincidence stop? But sorry, I'm going to go back. But regardless, right down here. So this may all tie into the wallet wizardry of us not being able to pin down 100% who's behind Atropa or where the funds are coming from. Also, the picture from their website is interesting. Seems to be a Pulsechain spaceman surfing over Hexaco. So, I mean, he's talking about this little hex. I mean, it kind of looks like a cube, but I mean, ultimately, it's pretty crazy, and he's really like jumping into it. But let's just unpack a little bit what's going on, and then we'll get into some price analysis, and I'll give you guys some alpha on what I think is going to happen. But basically, in this mystery, the Pulsechain needs a stable coin, and Richard Heart's getting sued by the SEC. Now, the biggest thing about this lawsuit is you got to understand that he can't just come out and launch a stable coin. He'll probably get sued by another country, or he might get thrown in jail. I don't know, but something bad's going to come out if he launches another stablecoin, because the companies are getting attacked by the U.S. right now, and it'll make this lawsuit 10 times worse. But the fact that he already has Pulsechain, he copied over all these PRC20 tokens, and now he has the stablecoin software on the Pulsechain. The only thing he needs to do is bring it to Peg and add collateral and put an oracle in there so that it can track the price of $1. After that, it is completely done. Now, if Blockbin is somehow involved with what's going on here, they already have a privacy bridge, and they're also developing these cross-chain privacy services, which means that if they were to launch their software onto the Pulsechain, and it turns out this Atropa token is tied to them, then you could very well possibly get a credit card and use that to buy products with your Pulsechain, Hex, PulseX tokens, or whatever, or maybe your DAI stablecoin after it hits Peg. I don't know, but ultimately, the reason why I think Richard Heart did the PRC20 token copy of all the tokens was not to mainly, well, partially to onboard everybody, but the main reason he did this was for the stable coins. He needed a narrative, well, not a narrative, but he needed a reason to bring a stablecoin to Peg, and by copying all these coins and sending them across, he was able to get the software he needed for a stablecoin. And so now he's going to hone in, focus on the stablecoin software, focus on Wrap ETH, focus on Wrap Bitcoin, and once he brings those to parity, the Pulsechain is dominant and won. That's it. That's the game, baby. We won this thing. They're better than Ethereum. This would be the greatest story ever in cryptocurrency history if he can do this. And so I think the whole PRC20 token drop was a little bit, of a cover up of what he was doing, but the real purpose was to position himself behind pDAI, USDC, USDT, and Wrap Bitcoin, maybe P Ethereum. And so that's how I see this whole scenario playing out. And ultimately, and the last thing before we get into the price charts of like Atropa, USDC, and we get into like the degen plays, I got one question for all you guys. Regardless of all this information I just gave you, I got one big question. One big question. I need every single person answer me. Every time something bad happens in cryptocurrency, Richard Heart has something to say. He said, get your assets off of BlockFi. It's going to go insolvent. He said, do not use centralized exchanges like FTX. Do not use Terra Luna. Terra Luna could possibly collapse. He talked about bridge hacks. He talked about Mt. Gox. He talked about all these things trying to help people. And so my question to you is, if this Atropa thing, if this pegging thing is so bad, why hasn't he said something? Because if this were to be a malicious actor coming into the Pulsechain, and the Pulsechain is his baby, he wants this thing to succeed so that he can be the best in cryptocurrency, he would say something about it right off the bat, tell the community would get together and attack it. But because he hasn't said anything about it, just fortifies the fact that this could possibly be true. And now I just want to make something clear. I'm not saying that all this is going to come to fruition. There's a lot of moving parts that need to happen in order for us to hit Peg. Add collateral. We need an oracle. We also need to have the liquidity pools open up with pDAI and PulseX and Hex and whatever to add value to this token. But ultimately, there's a good chance that this could be a grand slam. And I jumped into this a while ago, and I'm still holding strong. And like I said, this is the highest of the highest risk plays. This is like going to Las Vegas and gambling. But the amount of evidence that keeps piling up, that keeps coming in, it is so hard to deny. And in my opinion, I think there's a great possibility. And if it doesn't work out and this whole thing, this whole ship sinks, I'll get on social media and say, okay, guys, I was wrong. I thought it was going to happen and it wasn't. But the thing I'm trying to get across is do not bet your whole bag on it. It might be a good idea to look at it and be like, okay, 10, 20 bucks, see what happens. I'm not going to eat a pizza tonight. I'm going to take that $20 for pizza and put it in and just see what happens. Because anything can happen in this space and we don't know yet. But the fact that this thing is going up, people are making money, and also TYRH is doing well as well. While Pulsechain, Hex, PulseX, they're down like 30%, and these are going up. So they're definitely plays. They're definitely high risk plays, but please, they're extremely high risk, and I want to make that clear. So cool. Before we get into the price charts, let's see if we got any comments or anything. Awesome. So not the same amount, 10x plus 1 difference. Damien, okay, cool. Boss man, landscaper, peg me. The verse. Sorry, Damien, I accidentally put you in timeout. Was trying to heart it. Yeah. Hey, Damien, I want to say sorry. My buddy Trent accidentally did something to your account, man. He'll fix it, dude. I'm so sorry, Damien. But shout out to Damien, dude. He's a real great guy. I don't know what happened. So, Landscaper, Atropa equals Oracle. I have no idea if Atropa is the Oracle. I mean, if it does equal the Oracle, that would make sense. I mean, honestly, some people think the Atropa could be the maker token. And so I'm not really sure what's going on, but to be honest with you, whatever Atropa is doing right now, they're just trying to reduce the peg. And I guess with that liquidity pool pairing, maybe what they're going to try to do is gosh, I don't even know. I don't even want to speculate about that. So cool. All right, so let's get into the main component of the price action, and I think that's something y'all want to look at. So as of right now, DAI is sitting at about 84,000. And the market cap is 4.8 million. And so it's sitting at 0.002370. And so at the bottom of this sucker, we're sitting at 4 zeros and a 1 or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the thing just keeps going up and to the right. Shout out to the pDAI community. But right now, we're sitting at about a 10x. We got up to about an 18x right now. And so if this were to hit peg, it would hit a 4,000x from here. So that kind of gives you an idea. Now we come over here to Atropa. And so Atropa is very close to a penny. It's sitting at a liquidity of 1.1 million with a market cap of 1.2 million. I think a majority of this is actually being burnt right now. So that's absolutely crazy. The price of this token just keeps going up and to the right, which is absolutely insane. And so I don't know what's going on with like Atropa, but it's crazy. Now, here's the thing that all these other guys aren't going to talk about. If Atropa is going up, we need to look at other coins. Now, USDC basically is going to be pegged to DAI. And so if DAI goes up, USDC is going to go up. This is another place you can look at. You can already see that the liquidity pool's at 500,000. And I think they're also doing a pairing as well. But yes, USDC is also another play. After the SEC announcement, it died. And now it's sitting down, and then it's coming back stronger than ever. So from that bottom, we're sitting at about, gosh, what is it? 8x off your USDC if you got in. And then I'll just USDT for fun and giggles. No, that's not the one we want. We want Pulsechain, baby. Pulsechain. Forget Ethereum. We're all Pulsechain. All right, this is the one we want. So I come over here, USDT is doing the same functionality as we're seeing with USDC. So you guys already see that the software is working. Don't listen to your friend Sami. Listen to your friend Kris. I am here to basically lead you to the promised land. Look at this. This is at a 15x right now from the bottom. This is crazy. So definitely check that out. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is a sleeper. It's going to be the Wrap Bitcoin with Atropa. So if you look at the Wrap Bitcoin, there's Wrap Bitcoin with Atropa. Well, no, that's not the one I was looking for. It's Wrap. All right. That's a very small liquidity. That was not actually, that might actually be the one I was looking for. Hold on. So there's a Atropa and a Wrap Bitcoin. When did the liquidity get so low on that? That's so crazy. That's driving me. I did not expect that. All right. So here, we'll do Wrapped Ethereum. So basically, right now in the contract protocol, Wrapped Ethereum is going to be used as collateral for the DAI. And so there's a good chance that they might need to also bring Wrapped Ethereum up to peg. And this is just like the copied one. And I'm not sure how this is going to work with the contract update. But keep in mind that's TBD. I don't know how they're going to function with the collateral. But this is one you definitely want to look at. And then the other one is going to be Wrap Bitcoin. So Wrap Bitcoin and Wrap Pulse. And so this also goes into my next thing. Richard Heart actually added liquidity pools for Wrap Bitcoin and Wrap Pulse right at the middle of the bear market. And so when that happened, there's a huge outburst in the community. But I think ultimately what he was trying to do is he was trying to test it out to see how people will respond to a PRC20 token. And so this was right when Richard Heart added it, and then it went down. So when this starts to come out, there's a good chance that this Wrap Bitcoin token is going to go absolutely to the moon. So those are actually some plays you can look at. Now, the next big thing I want to talk about, and so this is, so Wrap Bitcoin, Wrapped Ethereum, those are plays I'm looking at. Keep in mind high risk. And then the other big play I want to talk about, the BBL token. So if we come over here to the BBL token on Ethereum, it's sitting at about 191,000 liquidity and a market cap of 87,000 this liquidity pool. So the big point I'm trying to get across is, if this story comes out, BBL could very well go to a $5 million to a $50 million market cap. This is actually a token, full disclosure, I'm getting into. They have BBL on wrapped Ethereum. I guess they had a launch and it's been trading sideways for a little bit. But now that it's starting to level out and trade sideways, and more people are finding out about this story, there's a good chance that any day now this thing could absolutely pop to the upside. And I mean, yeah, it could very well just go way above that. Now, the other place where you can buy the BBL token is going to be on Base. And so over here on Base, they have another liquidity pool over here. And I guess they had a little bit of a sell-off last time I was checking. But ultimately, if you're into the Base layer 2 scaling solution and you want to save time and money on, well, if you want to save if you want to save money on gas fees, you can come check this out. But honestly, how I see this BBL token performing, if all this comes out and we have this payment processor, a $20,000 market cap, which I'm going to need to look at that in a minute. I might need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Actually, just look at the Ethereum one. I need to double check that one. That one looks sketchy. But ultimately, there's a good chance that we could see this thing go absolutely ballistic to the upside. So that's also another play. And then the last thing I want to talk about, if you're in the Zen community, if you're a Zenian, Zen Classic is being paired up right now with Rat Pulse. So if I come over here to Zen/Rat Pulse, I mean Zen slash what's it called? Atropa. Zen and Atropa are getting paired up right now together. And basically, the price of Zen Classic is going up. So I'm calling right now, Zen Classic is a sleeper. And because it's in a paired up liquidity pool with Zen Classic, there's a good chance this thing's going to skyrocket. I put this out on Twitter right around here when I saw it. And now it's probably sitting at a... So it's sitting at about a, we'll say 2x, so less than a 2x. So anything that's paired up with a Tropa, there's a good chance it's going to go up. Now, the reason why there's so many pools with a Tropa is because they're doing arbitrage pools between them so that they can earn more money and earn more fees to buy up the DAI token and then sell it off into, not sell it off, but send it off into the Barton wallet. So yeah, so guys, ultimately, that was my spiel behind the DAI token, the investigation. I went through, covered a bunch of stuff, got real deep, talked to you guys about plays that you can get into. As for how I see this story playing out, in my honest opinion, there's always a good chance that this might not play out well. But in my honest opinion, if Richard Heart could do this and he could bring DAI to peg, he'll be the greatest person in cryptocurrency, bar none. And I'm betting on that because he says it so much, and based on all the evidence, I think there's a high % chance. But also keep in mind, nothing's ever 100%. This could be, there could be a plot twist, something could happen. And so ultimately, if you're going to make plays with this stuff, this is very degenerate. Make sure you have exit strategies. Don't put your whole bank account into this token. I'm telling you, that's not what you're supposed to do. If you're coming in here and you're just buying and you're never selling, or you're diamond handing and you're listening to these Pulsechain and Hex Maxis, you shouldn't be in cryptocurrency. You're in cryptocurrency to make money. You're in cryptocurrency to build a better financial future for you, your family, your friends, whoever. And you need to be taking profits. So when you're in this, have a profit strategy. I'm telling you, please have a profit strategy. It's fun to be a degenerate. It's fun to talk trash to the Pulsechain Hex Maxis, but it's not fun when you lose all your money. And when we're working with stuff like this, please have a profit taking strategy. So that was my whole spiel. Let's see if we have any questions or comments or anything. So cool. What's the Telegram group for pDAI? It's like pDAI Tropa. Go over to Hodlnomics Twitter and he'll show you. I'll put it in the description down below. Got it. All right, Damien, we back. What's up, brother? Hey, I'm sorry about that, man. Wait, you need better intro if you're talking about Zen Classic. You need to introduce yourself as the Zen Commander. Yes, sir. Shout out to my boy, Damien. I am the Zen Classic Commander. Everybody knows that. I will be the number one face of Zen Classic. We are going to bring this sucker back into mainstream Zen. We're going to take this thing to the moon, and we're going to get all eyes on Zen Classic. And we got the backing of Atropa, and we also got the backing of XenGarbagedump. Let's go, baby. So, the boss man, when you say have a profit taking strategy, what do you mean? All right, the boss man. So let's say you buy $100 worth of DAI and it 2x's, and now you have $200 worth of DAI. In your mind, you should be saying, okay, I put $100 into DAI. I need to get $100 out, and then after that, I'm basically out of the red. So what I would do is after a 2x, maybe sell like 10 or 20% of it, and then when it 2x's again, sell another 10 or 20%. And once you hit that $100 limit, then you can start gambling with the price or whatnot. So make sure you get your initial out so that you can protect yourself. That's the biggest thing I'm trying to say. Yes, Cap. Woohoo. Damon, take profit strategy. Example, 10 billion market cap, sell 50%. There you go. So that right there, Damon just just got it right there. So let's say it 10x's. If you sell half of it, you're going to get your initial out. Make sure you take profits. Do not bet on this going to peg. So definitely guys stuff. All right, cool. So we got about 10 more minutes left. I want to cover TYRH. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we need to talk about what's going on with this token. So if you guys don't know, TYRH stands for Thank You, Richard Heart. I talked to the developer, Jacob, phenomenal guy, really, really, really great dude. And so basically he built a tax token, which is like, I think it was like 22% buy and then 12% sell. And basically all it does is it comes in here and buys up PulseX and Hex and basically sends it to a burn wallet address. Now, what TYRH was doing was they actually just launched a layer 2 farm. And before I get into the layer 2 farm, I want to show you guys this. So before I get into the price of this, so basically what happened was we go through the price. It's going up and to the right, up and to the right. Next thing you know, SEC announcement comes down and then it hits right here. And so in this zone, I put out a tweet and I said, guys, TYRH is the same code, same community, same everything, different price. This is your time to get in before this thing absolutely take off and explode. Hop in. The entire community got behind me. We got that tweet out. We got it mainstream. Now look at this, baby. Look at this. It basically went from that bottom and it skyrocketed to the moon. Shout out TYRH. I love this token, dude. I love this token, man. This is awesome. So from that little bottom, dude, this thing went up 10x from that bottom. You got to be kidding me, man. It went up 10x after the SEC lawsuit. Oh, man, dude. If you listen to these Hex and Pulsechain maxis, you'd be down 30%. If you listen to me and everyone else that's promoting this project, Jacob, anyone else, you'd be up 10x on your bag. You could basically be a Pulsechain whale off $1,000 if you got in. My gosh, man, this is absolutely insane. But yeah, so you guys get the point. Now, I want to get into a little bit of this version 3, and I'm not going to get too far into the weeds because I don't want this thing going above like an hour. But basically, to go where we left off, they had something called a burn token. And so when you use the TYRH protocol and you buy the tokens, you can stake it. And when you stake it, you basically can earn these tokens like PulsePot, Texan, Time, and whatnot. And it's just up there if you stake the token. In addition, you'll earn burn tokens. And with those burn tokens, you can buy NFTs, you can get multiplier bonuses to earn more rewards, and the whole 9 yards. So Jacob decided to take this a further step, and he added like a layer 2 and a layer 3. He added something called a plant and a water. And so with the burn tokens, now what you can do is you can buy these little boosters, and I'm not going to get into it because I need to cover plant and water. But essentially, after you have your burn tokens, you can stake them, auto compound, and yield. And then you can come down here, and what you can do is you can buy these like plant tokens. And if you're a TYRH holder, you actually earn a token airdrop. And basically with these plant tokens, you can sit here and stake them out to the future, and you'll earn TYRH that will be claimable going 55 days, 110 days, 165 days, and 220 days in the future. Now, Also, with those plant tokens, you can come over here to the Sprout House. You can auto compound them just like the burn tokens. And then also what you can do is you can take your plant tokens, stake them for a growth time, and then earn seed tokens, which are going to be announced in a future project. And so the seed tokens are designed to be extremely rare, and you can build up and have them. And so this process is very similar to the water token, except what you need to do is you need to burn Xenify token to get water. Using that water, you can stake it out into the fountain and earn a fountain MT pass. And then what you can also do is stake it into the Lord Spring and then earn passive income of this holy token, which is designed to be also extremely scarce as well. So you can kind of see there's like a little gameplay and there's a layer 2 component to it. And I can't get too much into it because I'm running out of time right now. But ultimately, what Jacob did was he added these layer 2s, and then what he did with the NFT shop was he added a utility to the burn token, where within these layer 2 protocols where you can stake, earn yield, and earn passive income, you can buy these NFT boosters and increase your staking rewards over time. And so the idea is all roads lead back to the TYRH, but he's creating this little gamified version where you can take profits in the plant, you can take profits in the burn token, you can use the plant to get the seed token, you can use the water to get the Lord Spring token, and then essentially they're coming out with a version 4 to basically get into like the holy token. So based off of all that, I know it's really, really confusing. I need to do a live stream just dedicated to TYRH because I love this community. It's a great token. But after all this stuff launch, let's go take a look at the plant token right now. The price of the token, literally, this is you can't make this stuff up, man. Right when it launched, it went up 4x, and then now it's down 2x from the top. It went off of 4x right when it launched. So if you're just in this, man, you probably got a huge bag. Now let's go down to the water token. Let's take a look at this water token. So if you got into this token and you were in for the airdrop, you basically like hit a, gosh, is that a 10x? Yeah, so you hit a 10x and then it goes down to a 5x. Oh, come on, man. Dude, this isn't even fair. Like, look at this stuff, man. This is crazy. My gosh. And then, yeah, we got the holy token. So I'm not going to, wait, I wonder if they have the holy token here. No, that's just TYRH. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to get too much into it. So the main point I'm trying to get across is, you have this new layer 2, layer 3 protocol on top of it. And so what Jacob is doing is he's finding new value for the burn token, the plant token, and then the water token, which is mainly evolved around burning incentive token, because the incentive token needs to be inflationary. And I think it's genius. And then the holy token is what's going to be like the missing piece of this. And it's designed to be scarce, but they're going to use it in a version 4 protocol. So what's my overall thoughts about this? He's adding more utility behind this ecosystem because he wants more people to buy up the TYRH token and stake it. And in order to keep this narrative going, he's going to add more utility to this ecosystem going on to the future. So he's doing something called vertical integration, where he's stacking on top of his tokens and keeping like the economic energy on top of that to add value to burning Pulse, Hex, and the incentive token. And then what else did I say? PulseX, right? Yeah, and PulseX. So this gamified version is going to keep people interested. It's going to bring more people in. And me just looking at the price right now, I'm going to call this right now. I had price predictions, but based on what Jacob is doing, I love the TYRH community. I could very well see this market cap hitting a $200 million market cap. I'm going to call it right now. I think TYRH is going to hit a $200 million market cap, not financial advice. And we're sooner or later, we're probably going to need to have a slowdown. September 11th, a lot of the TYRH stakes are going to come undone. But I think if with this momentum and this amount of people getting interested in this token, a $200 million market cap is very realistic. And that's not financial advice, but that's what I was predicting. So as for that, leave a comment down below. Let me know what do you think the market cap of TYRH is going to be. Also, let me know, do you think pDAI is going to hit peg? Leave a comment down below about that. So cool. All right, let's see if we got any more questions or anything. PulsePot, check Holy on Dex screener. Show Holy token, please. All right, I will. All right, I got you guys. Holy token on Dex screener. Oh, holy smokes! All right, so they want me to. All right. So we got the Holy token. So, oh wow, holy smokes, that's like 14,000 a coin. Wow, dang, that is crazy. Wow, it's like that's like Bitcoin, dude. Look at this. So basically, it went up about 700x, and then now it's sitting down at 300x. Wow, this looks like it's gonna have a higher price than Bitcoin. That's actually really, really cool. Now, what's the other? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Now, what's the other token y'all want me to look at? Or Seed. All right, so I'll look at Seed for you guys. So Seed and Wrap Pulse. Oh wow, that is a beautiful chart. Holy smokes, 13,000. Wow, that is crazy. What is the appreciation behind this sucker, man? 7x, my gosh, dude. Jacob and like his team, man, are ballers, dude. They literally created this awesome layer 2 protocol, and I'm definitely going to cover this again. I need to get more into detail. I got stuck on the pDAI stuff, but I want to get this out there so you guys know about it, because it's important information. It's extremely time what's it called? Time whatever. But regardless, Seed's doing really well, and then Holy's doing really well as well. So I'm really curious to find out. I couldn't find a white paper. They had a video and stuff in their Telegram, so check out their Telegram. But I hopefully they'll come out with a white paper, and hopefully we'll get to know what's going on with this version 4 behind the Seed token and the Holy token, which is actually pretty cool, because those are like those are literally at the price of Bitcoin right now. So yeah, that's actually insane. Price 9.2 liquidity, and then $136 million market cap. All right, and I'm gonna look at the Holy real quick. So let's look at Holy. So 14K liquidity, and then $74 million market cap. Man, that is absolutely insane. So yeah, guys, cool. Well, please go check out TYRH at tyrh.io. Also, subscribe down to the channel. I'm going to do another video dedicated to TYRH. I need to really dive into this and really talk about the mechanics, but I wanted to show you the information so that you guys know. So let's see what else is going on. My comment, yep. Damien, time sensitive. Yep, you got me. My comment, Robert, TYRH equals 1 billion market cap in 1 year. Man, that is a crazy prediction, man. Okay, well, we'll see if that comes to fruition, but definitely really cool. But yeah, guys. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna wrap up this video. We're sitting at about an hour, but I just want to say thank you so much for viewing the Verse Crypto channel. My name's Khaos Kris. I am the Zen Classic Supreme Commander. I'm also the honorary community ambassador of pDAI. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be the honorary community ambassador of pDAI. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. The pDAI community ambassador. Man, I need a really cool name that's something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Like it's gotta be like something cool like Supreme Commander, but not Supreme Commander, because I already claimed that for Zen Classic. So I'm gonna think about something. Leave a comment below if you guys have any ideas. But like I said, shout out to Damien, shout out to the PulsePot crew. Check out TYRH. Shout out to Hodlnomics and everybody. And before I wrap this video up, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so I keep you guys up to date with the latest, greatest news and information within the space. My name's Khaos Kris. I love every single one of you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.